Hello world. Merry Christmas. It is either Christmas? No. We're about 24 hours out, maybe a little less than that. And, beautiful things are happening in the background here. But the thing about the holidays is that entrepreneurs never stop working. In fact, entrepreneurs look for when other people stop working so they can find new ways to continue to make money.
Hey, what are you doing?
Don't worry about it, Nate. I'm working.
You do not look like it.
Trust me, it's fine, little robot man. That is why McDonald's is still open on Christmas. That is why IHOP is still open on Christmas. And Denny's is still open on Christmas because they have to compete with IHOP. Because no way is IHOP being open without Denny's being open. That's real entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs never stop working, but they're always looking for ways to continue their business. They're always looking for ways to build more. And they're always looking for ways to continue their work. And among entrepreneurs is, of course, the ever-evasive writer. The writer does not dislike social events, specifically celebrations, because typically there's alcohol there. And I bet a majority of authors that you know of, or know in person, are some sort of alcoholic. Because I can tell you, as somebody who studied writing, those writers just couldn't help but throw their alcoholic parties. Every term. What does writing and being an entrepreneur have to do with Christmas? Well, every time I think of Christmas, all I can think of is the first Polish Christmas dish I bring to the party. A baked potato topped with dill weed. And of course, every variation of the song that exists. And so, that got me thinking. And it got a friend of mine thinking. Where is the anthem for the writer working on Christmas? Where is the song of empathy when we're working with our editors? Where is the song of our hardship being shared? Because not every song can be about a partridge in a pear tree, or a baked potato topped with dillweed, or any other variation of this song that is sharing something with the rest of the world. So where is the writer's version of the song? Well, my friend, I'm here to bless you with that today. You're welcome. On the first day of writing, my editor gave to me a deadline with hard edits, oh geez. On the second day of writing, my editor gave to me 2 changing tenses and a deadline with hard edits, oh geez. On the third day of writing, my editor gave to me 3 vague suggestions.
There was this thing on page 239 that I did not like. Fix it.
Can you give me a little more detail?
No.
2 changing tenses and a deadline with hard edits, oh geez. On the 4th day of writing, my editor gave to me 4 failed queries, 3 vague suggestions, 2 changing tenses, and a deadline with hard edits, oh geez. On the 5th day of writing, my editor gave to me 5 giant plot holes, 4 failed queries, 3 vague suggestions, 2 changing tenses, and a deadline with hard edits, oh geez. On the 6th day of writing, my editor gave to me 6 changing viewpoints, 5 giant plot holes, 4 failed queries, 3 vague suggestions, 2 changing tenses, and a deadline with hard edits, oh geez. On the 7th day of writing, my editor gave to me 7,000 words cut, 6 changing viewpoints, 5 giant plot holes, 4 failed queries, 3 vague suggestions, 2 changing tenses, and a deadline with hard edits, oh geez. On the 8th day of writing, my editor gave to me 8 books to study, 7,000 words cut, 6 changing viewpoints, 5 giant plot holes, 4 failed queries, 3 vague suggestions, 2 changing tenses, and a deadline with hard edits. Oh geez. On the 9th day of writing, my editor gave to me 9 competing titles, 8 books to study, 7,000 words cut, 6 changing viewpoints, 5 giant plot holes, 4 failed queries, 3 vague suggestions, 2 changing tenses, and a deadline with hard edits. Oh geez. On the 10th day of writing, my editor gave to me 10,000 realies, 9 competing titles, 8 books to study, 7,000 words cut, 6 changing viewpoints, 5 giant plot holes, 4 failed queries, 3 vague suggestions, 2 changing tenses, and a deadline with hard edits. Oh geez. On the 11th day of writing, my editor gave to me 11 sequels pending, 10,000 realies, 9 competing titles, 8 books to study, 7,000 words cut, 6 changing viewpoints, 5 giant plot holes, 4 failed queries, 3 vague suggestions, 2 changing tenses, and a deadline with hard edits. Oh geez. On the 12th day of writing, my editor gave to me 12 pages of me just kind of going on and on to this whole fight scene where I put on like way too much detail describing each step for each character. Like there's John and there's Jacob and there's Doberman and there's Doberman's mom and then there's the thought of Doberman's daughter, and so you've got the description of each step, even if it's just like a little inch or like a half an inch, and the thought process going through the mind of the person as they make that mild movement, and where the sweat is coming from and what part of the shirt it's dampening. It was the armpit and like around the waistband, just FYI. And this guy, he was just staring had this look of this killer in his eye, because he was a killer, and standing in front of Doberman's room reminded him of the 10 years he spent in prison for killing his grandmother with a piano wire that 12 months ago, because, when he was a kid, she forced him to learn the piano. He really didn't want to learn the piano. He wanted to learn the clarinet or like the saxophone, but she said the saxophone will never mean anything, and why are you going to learn the saxophone? No one likes jazz anymore. What are you, an old man? You're like your grandfather. And so he killed her, and he didn't even finish his time in jail because he escaped, and he was now on the run and stressed out all the time. But he worried about the child that he had before going to prison, and he really wanted to see his daughter, Patty, and who by now must have been at least 13 years old, and if she looked anything like her mother, she would have been...
Stop. Edit. Continue the song.
11 sequels pending, 10,000 realies, 9 competing titles, 8 books to study, 7,000 words cut, 6 changing viewpoints, 5 giant plot holes.